That would be me.
Look who we're hanging with.
Jason David Frank.
Boom shakalaka.
Please do not change channel.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin' With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter, and we are at the Melbourne Independent Filmmaker Festival all weekend long. If you haven't done it yet, take just like 1 second. Just point the mouse, click subscribe, come back over. We have artists, authors, filmmakers, actresses, producers. If they're a creative mind, they're on the show. And we're here right now hanging with director Justine Renee. That's right, she is such an awesome director, she gets 2 first names.
It's true.
See? Sometimes they only get 1, but no, she gets both. And she's the director of Hollywood Hurts. How are you? Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about Hollywood Hurts.
Okay.
Okay.
Hollywood Hurts is my Me Too story.
Okay.
It was my experience when I first started in Hollywood in about 11 years ago. I was 19 years old. And extremely naive. I spent a while in Hollywood and I was taken advantage of many times. This story is actually a snowball effect into many experiences I had with sexual assault, and I made this film thank you to the Me Too movement because it inspired me to come out with my own story, and through doing that I've actually healed, and
Making the film was sort of a catharsis for you.
It really was. It was extremely healing, and I feel like empowered to have come out with my own story, and I'm so grateful for the movement despite all the backlash that it's gotten. I don't think it matters. Like, I think because I've healed and I've seen so many people that have healed, and I've provoked conversation with both men and women, because we do often forget about the men too, and I think it's equally as important for men as well to come out with their own story.
Well, I think for any movement to do well and to endure, it has to start a conversation.
Exactly.
And conversations, we don't have conversations with ourselves. Well, that guy does. But the rest of us have to talk to other people. So we have to talk to each other about what's going on. And Me Too has fostered a lot of those conversations. And we haven't had a chance to see the film yet, but we have heard that it's fostering conversations.
Oh, yeah.
It's making people talk. And that's the point.
Yeah.
And in your case, just making the film made a difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm so grateful. I was able to get an amazing crew, an amazing DP, a cast. Ella, who you met earlier today. And
we did. What a sweetheart.
Oh, she's amazing. She's a star.
Not shy.
Not at all.
She is already a rock star, that one. So
yeah, we love Ella.
Yeah, she was fantastic to have just sit and hang out with for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Because the story is such a personal story to you, what were the challenges that you faced when you were making this film?
Yeah.
Is it hard to look through that lens and be witnessing things that you just have way too much personal knowledge of? You're just like, okay, turn that off for a second.
Right. No,
yeah.
Absolutely. I think now, like, I've seen it enough times that I'm like, I still get like emotional, but it's the first time I saw myself on camera, and in fact, doing the scene, it was hard, and I definitely got emotional because it's like you're reliving it, but at the same time, it was healing as well, because it was like I was bringing it back and also releasing that emotion that I stuffed down for such a long time. Well, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. There is something in discomfort that you find strength.
Yeah.
And in your case, you were reliving things that you wrote and that you knew intimately, and then having to cut that and film, and do all the work that a director does over and over and over again, but in a positive way. You knew the story you were telling.
Yeah.
So How casting it? Let's talk about the process.
Right.
Okay. So now you have to cast stories that you know uncomfortably well.
Yeah.
And let's face it, you have to cast some pretty not so nice guys. Mm-hmm. You know, what was that process like for you in choosing the right people? Did you have just somebody, you had an actor that walked in and you're like, that's the guy that's going to be the bad guy because I just don't like him?
Yeah, no, I actually knew right away, based on the look and the feel. This guy who I cast, his name is Carlos Valentino. I knew right away. There's like something about him and his look and his eyes that he's a typical like bad guy, and that role of the bad guy he plays so well.
And we're hoping he was a really nice guy to work with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. See, that helps.
He was very respectful, absolutely. But he definitely did that scene really well, and I think that it came across super real, and that's what I needed, because I need the audience to go, whoa. Yeah. You know what I mean? I couldn't have something.
Sometimes just anecdotally, we've heard, especially over the past couple of years, we've heard so many of the Me Too stories, mm-hmm. and some of them make ordinary folks that haven't gone through that. We sit back and we think to ourselves, can that guy even really be? I mean, is there a guy that bad? So for an actor to be able to bring that out and show you that it can be that bad and not be over the top. It's not a caricature. There are people, there are men out there that have that attitude.
Yep.
And so that's a gift. If he was able to bring that out, that's a true gift.
Absolutely.
What have audiences been saying? You're here at the Melbourne Independent Film Festival. I'm sure you're making the festival rounds.
I've made people uncomfortable. That's probably an understatement.
For an artist, we like to say yes.
And I'm okay with that because that means that I've made my statement, and it's going to get both good and bad feedback. But I think we actually won the September Film Slam at the Enzion in Orlando for People's Choice, which is super amazing. And the most amazing thing about it was that was our first festival, and it provoked conversation, and it actually made people come out with their own stories. One whom was a male, and that to me is the most rewarding, is seeing people come out with their stories, and that's really what I wanted to do.
That's fantastic.
Because the more you talk about it, and the more, like you said, it's conversation, the more that's enhanced and we speak about it, the more likely there's actually going to be that change, and that's what I want to do.
We've been trying as a society, men and women have been trying to learn how to speak to each other for decades.
Yeah.
And now we find ourselves where we are forced to have these conversations. We have to speak to each other. We have to learn to communicate, because if we don't, bad things are happening to people every single day.
Absolutely.
And so your film is pushing that conversation forward.
Yeah.
And I just can't wait to see it. Believe it or not, I'm a guy. I can't wait to see this movie because it's thought-provoking, and I like things that make me think and make me say, hey, wait a minute. And like I said, so many times I see, this happened to this one, and this happened to this one, and I think, I'm a guy. I'm thinking, are there guys that are that bad out there? It turns out there are, and every time I turn on the news, there's another one.
Yep.
It's rather uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so it's a good conversation to have. One of the things we like to tell people on the show is, because we talk to artists, and you're going to see change, and you're going to thank your elected officials and your leaders and all those other guys. But at the end of the day, when you really look back, it's going to be the artist that tells the stories that force the conversation.
Absolutely.
And if we don't tell those stories,
then there's going to be no conversation.
No change and no conversation. Yep. So, great job.
Thank you.
What's next?
So I'm working actually on writing with my partner, and she was actually the co-producer of Hollywood Hurts, Beth Wheatley.
Awesome.
She's an Emmy-nominated producer.
That never hurts.
It doesn't hurt at all.
Hurts to have good,
right?
A team to work with.
We're working on writing a LGBT script, a series, and we're working on that right now. It's in the pre-development.
Forgive the parlance, but you're just a tough chick. You're going to bring every issue. She's not afraid. She's going. If there's an issue out there that needs to be talked about, you're not going to shy away.
No.
And so much of mainstream media does. It becomes uncomfortable and we
Yeah.
go, okay, wait a minute, no, not that one.
Yeah.
But you're just head on.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Really, it really is. Where can people up the road, what are the plans for Hollywood Hurts? What are the plans for your next film? Are you going to do a commercial release eventually? What are you looking for?
So Hollywood Hurts, we're going to keep it in the festival circuit, and we're working on trying to get some distribution for the series. And I also am a director and co-producer with my girlfriend on a YouTube series called Drag Queen Network. Where
Awesome.
Another LGBT. We're doing a cruise in April with that, and
Very
we're
nice.
just in
Where
the
are you guys
LGBT.
where are you guys based out of?
Orlando, Florida.
Orlando,
Yeah.
Florida. Okay. Well, look, when you're doing your stuff, we want to tell you, right over in Orlando, Florida, one of our good friends and sponsors is a place called Embellish Effects. So whenever your
Yes.
drag folks need anything, the guys at Embellish are amazing.
Yes, we've heard.
Yes, they
Yes,
are.
awesome.
So that's my shut up card. We were just, we're bonding. Fine, wiggle it, wiggle it. Go ahead. All right, we're going to thank our partners and our friends at Something Name Magazine, Famous Faces and Funnies, Space Coast Comics, Yvonne Mason with Off the Chain Radio, Pound the Grave here in Melbourne, Florida, and as we just mentioned, Embellish Effects in Orlando, Florida. Thank you guys for supporting the show. Thank all of our featured artists, authors, filmmakers, and creators for helping us get the show going every single day. Remember, guys, Monday through Friday, every morning between 9 and 10 o'clock, you catch another interview with another fantastic creator. We've been hanging with Justine Renee, the
Thank
director
you.
of Hollywood Hurts at the Melbourne Independent Filmmakers Festival. Always want to just go film festival and call it a day. I don't know why. Remember, everybody, subscribe, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next. Thank you so much.
much.
Thank you. That was awesome.